Imagine an entity who possesses the sheer physical force to kick the demon king Ravana unconscious, yet later in history has the stamina to force Lord Krishna into a brutal 28-day war. This is Jambavan. He is older than the current configuration of the solar system, watching the gods churn the ocean for nectar and the first vibrations of creation take shape. He is neither a god nor a demon. He exists as a primordial force of nature, materialized before the universe even had a stable form. His origin begins in the absolute void. Before creation, the deity Brahma found himself threatened by the demons Madhu and Kaitaba. In a moment of cosmic fear, Brahma broke into a sweat. From that divine sweat, Jambavan materialized. He ended the threat immediately, defeating both demons with a single, devastating blow. His existence began with unrivaled, violent kinetic destruction, marking him as the first and most powerful protector of the infant cosmos. This physical supremacy carried into the era of the Vamana Avatar, where Jambavan moved with a speed that ignored the laws of physics. As the giant Vamana stepped across the dimensions, Jambavan circumnavigated all of creation 18 times in just 3 moments. But that unchecked momentum led to a collision. While hurtling through space, he accidentally struck a sacred mountain, interrupting a sage in deep meditation. The insulted sage placed a curse on him. Jambavan's blinding speed began to decelerate. His physical power started to wane, and for the first time he began to age. The curse grounded him. Forced to move at a mortal's pace, he was no longer a blur in the distance, but a permanent fixture of the world, a being who had to stay behind and remember the history he could no longer outrun. By the era of Lord Ram, the Treta Yuga, Jambavan had transitioned into the role of a seasoned commander within the Vanara army. He traded his early recklessness for mentorship. Instead of leading every charge, he used his experience to guide Hanuman, helping him realize he had the power to cross the ocean in a single leap. Even in his advanced age, his primordial strength was evident. He struck the demon king Ravana with a weaponless kick so powerful it left the multi-headed king unconscious. Jambavan chose to let Ravana live. He understood that his role was to support the destined path of others, specifically acknowledging that the final victory belonged to Ram. By refusing to strike the final blow, Jambavan moved away from being a conqueror. He took on the responsibility of ensuring that history followed its predetermined balance. In the Dwapar Yuga, an era of increasing moral complexity, Jambavan triggered a conflict over a celestial object, the Syamantaka Mani. He kept the sun gem in his cave to prevent its infinite energy from being misused by unworthy mortals, acting as a gatekeeper for a power the world wasn't ready to handle. When Lord Krishna arrived to claim the stone, Jambavan refused to yield. He demanded proof of divine worthiness, initiating a war that lasted 28 days. For Jambavan, the gem was too dangerous for a common man to hold. If Krishna wanted to prove he had the divine authority to reclaim it, he would have to endure the physical toll of a month-long siege against a primordial force. As the battle reached its peak, Jambavan shifted. He felt a familiar presence in his opponent's strikes. He realized the warrior he was fighting possessed the exact same divine soul as his ancient commander, Ram. The battle ended immediately. He surrendered the gem and married his daughter to Krishna, marking the end of his time as an active participant in the wars of the avatars. He entered a state known as Sakshi Bhav, becoming a silent, detached observer of the reality unfolding around him. Jambavan withdrew into a hidden mountain cave. He allowed his physical form to fade into the shadows, while his consciousness expanded across the timeline. He became the living memory of the earth, watching as new elements formed and empires rose and fell over thousands of years. Today, in the Kali Yuga, local legends suggest he remains alive, hidden deep within secret cave networks, located just outside modern transit hubs like Ratlam. Researchers and locals point to the vast, undeveloped geography of rural India as the likely site of his eternal sanctuary. He remains in this state of deep stillness to conserve the primordial energy he will need for one final objective. As the Kali Yuga reaches its point of total moral collapse, the world awaits the arrival of Vishnu's 10th avatar, Kalki. When the avatar Kalki finally arrives to face the ultimate personification of evil on the battlefield, Jambavan will break his deep meditation. He will release the strength he has conserved over billions of years, bringing the power of the first dawn to the final battle of the age. Jambavan's story suggests that immortality is defined by the patience to wait billions of years for a single necessary moment of action.